good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Great. Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to At America. We are the U.S. Embassy's American Center. And first and foremost, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Genara Jusuf, or you can call me Ara, and I will be the MC for today's event. And for those of you new here, At America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center located in Jakarta. And our mission here is to provide a space for people to learn more about the United States through our programs and also our events. And before we start our event for today, I would like to greet our friends from Universitas Indonesia. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And also our friends from Universitas Yarsi. Yes, thank you so much to our beloved students for coming to At America. And everyone, our event for today is titled Engage, Inspire, and Inform with the Library of Congress. And in today's event, we are going to discover the epic resources of the world's biggest library and how it drives innovation and creativity. And today we are already joined by our very wonderful speakers and also our moderator for our discussion. But before we begin our discussion for today, let us hear an opening remark. And our opening remark today will be delivered by the Field Director for Southeast Asia of the Library of Congress. Everyone, please welcome Alison McKee.
Good afternoon. Hi. Thank you, Ara, for that introduction. It's wonderful to be here with you today, and greetings to our online guests. My name is Alison McKee, and I'm the Field Director for the Southeast Asian offices of the Library of Congress. It's wonderful to be here and to share, and as Ara mentioned, engage, inspire, and inform. For more than 2 centuries, the Library of Congress has given access to the greatest collection of information resources in the world. We are the largest library in the world with more than 176 million physical items and tons, petabytes of digital information, more and more added every single day. So certainly we uphold and continue a responsibility to continue to provide access to this excellent information, resource, and services. But if I could paraphrase, perhaps, a famous librarian of long ago, that it is a book that is used is better than one that is merely preserved. So that's also part of our mission, is to share the ways in which students across the world, researchers, young professionals just like yourselves, can have access to wonderful online resources from the Library of Congress and integrate and include those and help them inspire you, whether that's creatively, personally, or professionally. I'm really looking forward to spending this time together with you this afternoon, and I look forward to your questions about the Library of Congress and the very exciting field of library science. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Alison, for the very wonderful opening remark. And ladies and gentlemen, before we begin our discussion for today, let's get to know about the Library of Congress a little bit better through a short video titled Untold History, Library of Congress. So ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this video.
Book lovers, imagine a place filled with more than 32 million books and more than 61 million manuscripts holding all the stories that shaped history, none of which you can personally borrow. I know, right? Talk about a letdown. But believe me, this place is worth it. Because the Library of Congress isn't just the world's largest library, a vast collection of books stored across over 800 miles of shelves. It houses all types of items as well. The Library of Congress's principal founder was Thomas Jefferson, an avid book collector. It was a place where the nation's lawmakers had exclusive rights to access information and ideas, all in one place. Originally housed in the capital itself, the library's first chapter ended in tragedy when British troops set fire to the building, destroying about 3,000 books during the War of 1812. Jefferson came to the rescue, selling more than 6,000 of his own books to the library. Since then, there have been 2 more fires, with up to 35,000 books lost, including most of Jefferson's. But the library has endured, with 3 buildings on Capitol Hill and offices in cities around the world. The library houses the largest rare book collection in North America, including the first book ever printed in North America, a musical instrument collection that includes President James Madison's crystal flute, which Lizzo played, and even the contents of Abraham Lincoln's pocket on the night of his assassination. An incomparable research facility, in 2022, it maintained over 914 million unique digital files. The Library of Congress is also the location of the Copyright Office, where each and every copyright that's registered in the US are stored. What an amazing place, but just don't try to take any of its contents home. Why is it so important for the United States to maintain the Library of Congress?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a little bit about the Library of Congress, in which we are going to discuss about it a lot more in our discussion today. And now we will soon begin our discussion. And also to lead and also navigate our discussion for today, we are already joined by our wonderful moderator. Our moderator is the head of strategic innovation of Periplus Bookshop. Please welcome Kak Nugi.
Hello, good afternoon. From UI, good afternoon, Yellow Jacket team. And from YRCN, Sawadee Krap. Sawadee Krap for I'm called Mahasa Raham. Last weekend, I will start with a story. Last weekend, when US Embassy celebrate the Freedom 250 in Batam and in Colomadu Solo, and in Batam, I was sitting with my kid strolling Disney Plus. To be clear that this is not endorsement by Disney. Even though we know that Disney is as American as Apple Pie, as McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Tesla, what else? Silicon Valley, Wall Street, and iPhone 17. While I was looking of something suitable for my 6-year-old kid, I stumbled on Disney Classic section. I feel transport back to when I was children, to when I was child, when I was in elementary school. Staring, watching giant, boxy tube television. At that time, television not yet flat, not yet curved, and not yet smart. Only giant boxy tube television. And back then, we didn't know what a remote control was. If you wanted to change the channel, you had to get up and do squat, just a little workout. Back then. And as of it would have it in this Disney Classic section, Beauty and the Beast was on. Wow, Beauty and the Beast. A father and a kid watching Beauty and the Beast. No, I remember that Beauty and the Beast, there is an iconic and famous scene where the Beast takes the Disney princess, Belle, takes on the tour of his castle. I hope you remember this one. And fast forward years later, Disney produced live action version starring Emma Watson, aka Hermione. Any Gryffindor here? Can I get a big applause from Gryffindor dormitory? Yeah. Ravenclaw? Hufflepuff? No, Ravenclaw. Or Slytherin? Wow, Slytherin. Yeah, for our information that Hogwarts is not only school of magic on the earth. In America, we have 2. Ilvermorny in Massachusetts. Okay, we go back to the Disney from Warner Bros. Because Hogwarts is from Warner Bros. In the same scene, in this iconic scene, when the beast opened the door to the library, I remember, thank you to the CGI technology that has improved so much. So my impression of this scene was is so speechless, breathtaking. Imagine a young woman, a dreamer, trapped in a small town where she feels she didn't belong. She's Bella. Or I say Bella or Belle. Yeah, we say Belle. When those golden doors open, what Bella sees is not just a room, but a universe of gold and leather-bound wisdom, just like a heavens on earth. For Belle, this library is a sanctuary where her soul could finally breathe. The look of wonder in her eye is exactly the same when we realize that library is more than just a building. It's a gateway to every world we ever dream of visiting. That's fairy tale. But what happens when we grow up? What happens? Something magical, fairy tales evolves into complexity of our lives. That brings me to the modern or contemporary masterpiece in literature, where I work at Periplus Bookshop. I hope you know Periplus Bookshop here. This is endorsement by Periplus. No, just joking. We have one outlet here on basement floor. Yeah, still endorsement. At Periplus Bookshop, we have a new genre for fiction, magical realism. Sounds paradox like magical but realism. Realism but magical. Yeah, this book has been the super absolute bestseller for 6 years. Based on the sellers, based on the Goodreads review, based on the New York Times bestseller testimony, and the last based on the Good Morning America book club picks. This is the book I want to show to you all, Midnight Library by Matt Haig. In short, thank you for noticing this. In short, this story is about a girl named Nora. She finds herself in the library at the very edge of the universe. Every single book in infinite shelves represent lives she could have lived. One book shows her as a glaciologist. Another book shows her as a rock star, another as a traveler. Here, the author, Matt Haig, teaches the proven lesson for us that life is collecting of many choices. And library is the only place on earth where those choices and possibilities of life, especially, are kept safe. Library is the only place on earth where our choices and possibilities are kept safe. Library is where we can find ourselves when we feel lost. Yeah, just like ultimate map of human potential. Today, we are honored in the presence of this big institution, quite literally, Midnight Library in our world. Library of Congress. Give big applause. I hope my metaphors are not too far. If Beauty and the Beast Library is a sanctuary, if Nora's Midnight Library is the infinite self, then Library of Congress is bedrock for global civilization. So our mission today, to engage, inspire, and inform become more than a slogan. It's a promise of humanity. For us here who are looking for the next chapter in academia or international collaboration, believe me, there is no better place where to find inspiration than through this magnificent institution that preserve the very DNA of human knowledge. So together with me, with Alison, let us step into the heaven on earth. Let's explore the infinite selves of possibilities that lie ahead. It's great privilege for me to introduce for you all here the magnificent, the distinguished speakers. They represent the heart and the soul of this library. Please join me in welcoming Alice McKee, Alisa, as the field director of Southeast Asia LOZ, Library of Congress, and then Mbak Ade, the head of Vision, Library of Congress, Jakarta, and our online friend in screen, Faye, cataloger, Library of Congress, Bangkok. Let's start our discussion.
Can I also say that we have last minute students from Thammasat University who joined us here in the room.
Sawadika. Okay, let's start. Hello, Faye. Hello, Mbak Ade. Hello, Alice.
Hi.
Before we talk business things, let's talk heart, about the feeling. What's your feeling right now? Alice, Mbak Ade, and Faye, what's your feeling right now standing and representing the iconic Library of Congress? Alice, what's your feeling?
Sure. I love that we're leading with heart, Nugi. I think that's such a great point. Gosh, I think a mix of feelings, right? Of course, two of my strongest ones right now would be gratitude, right? I'm so proud to represent the Library of Congress. I think you gave such a wonderful example, Nugi, speaking about Belle and Belle and the Beast, right? Yeah. Similarly, there's, when I was younger, there is not a world in which I could imagine that I would have the opportunity to sit here and speak with you today. I'm very, very, very humbled, yeah? I'm from a very small town. And through the library and other types of information, and certainly librarians and other teachers and people who helped steward me and helped me learn more, was I able to learn more about the world, more about different opportunities, and ways that they may open doors for me. So this is truly, truly a dream to be here with all of you today. Absolutely.
Thank you. It means that the metaphor are too far from Disney Library and Library of Congress. Thank you, Alice. Mbak Ade, what's your feeling right now?
Okay, I have a mixed feelings because I have my teacher here, my colleague here. First, I'm proud. I never imagined I'm being a librarian. Actually, my goal in life is like being a teacher. And then when I realized I always hiding in the library since my elementary school.
Whoa,
Yes.
personal experience. So library is your...
Yeah, library is not that far away from me. I like reading, and in the library it's all free, and then that's a good thing. So now, and not by mistake, I choose the library science major. It's my, it's not, okay, this is like 1, 2, 3, okay, I choose the library, that's it. And then when I studied, I learned more in the University of Indonesia. Hi, my junior. And yes.
Hi.
So I learned a lot at that time, 1994. Okay, I'm old. But you know what? We are the only program who learn about internet at that time.
Wow.
Oh, it's the same
1994.
as 1994. We already my lecturer assigned us to have an email trying to find something on Yahoo. You never know Yahoo. Yahoo and all the thing with all the modem, like beep, bloop, 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 bloop.
Windows
Something like
Star.
that. Yes, Windows Star.
Windows Star.
All of it. We have to learn all the technology. So as a librarian now, do not afraid of AI or anything because our world work with that. Okay? Yes. Welcome to the next generation of young librarians.
Thank you, buddy. And Faye, hi. What's your feeling right now?
Hi. I'm excited because I've never done this before. But thank you to Miss Alison. I get to share the view of a cataloger in this activity. So I'm actually not from the Library of Science field. I have a bachelor's degree in travel industry. So I sort of stumbled upon this job in the late 1998, and I come to enjoy doing my job.
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ ครับคุณครั
ส
บ
วัสดีค่ะค่ะ
Thank you, Faye. Alison, for many of us here, it's fascinating with LOZ. Why does the LOZ have office outside the US, especially in this area, Southeast Asia?
Okay, great. That's probably one of the top questions I think I get in my daily life,
Yeah.
right? And I love that because by having, we saw in our video just a brief snapshot of the locations of the other overseas offices of the Library of Congress. There are 6 across the world, as well as a number of sub-offices. For example, Ms. Faye in our Bangkok office is one of our many team members who works in a sub-office. Now, these offices exist as a part to help fulfill Thomas Jefferson's mandate that the Library of Congress provide a universal source of information, right? So that means not only information from the United States, but information from around the world. The Library of Congress collects materials in almost 500 different languages. So that means that about half of the library's book collection is in a language that is other than English. So having our overseas offices here in Jakarta and in Bangkok, we've existed since the 1960s. So a very long time, provides a wonderful opportunity for us to continue to identify, collect, acquire, and make available to lawmakers, researchers, and the public information that is truly from around the world and of enduring research value for now and for the future.
Thank you for the clarity. Back to the practical job, daily job. I think that was such a big responsibility. I guess, what's your favorite part of doing this job, your favorite part? So the younger generation know.
Yeah, my favorite part, gosh, I have to say I'm so fortunate because I really do enjoy every day I do in my job, and that is large thanks to the wonderful team that I work with here. So let me give a moment to appreciate all of you here today, all of us joining online. Like many jobs, right? People and teamwork are what helps us achieve goals together, right? So I think that is really what makes my day a lot of fun and helps us work together to again achieve our shared mission, our shared goals, right? Of finding these materials, of making them available. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any favorite part of the collection, like maybe nonfiction, fiction, or map?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. That's a tough question. What is my favorite part? I think I see interesting materials every single day. So I think that might change from day to day. I'll give an example from yesterday. We were working with some materials that are in PDF format. So these were born digital, right? And these were research guides from all over Southeast Asia. And I was just so struck with the range of subjects covered in these really valuable resources. Everything from the special biology and botany of Bali, for example, to cultural practices in another part of Southeast Asia. The library truly has it all, and I think it's just one of those opportunities to open new doors every single day.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to Mbak Ade. Mbak Ade, tell us more about acquisitions. What type of materials do you look for? It's just a book or it's more than a book?
Thank you. I will trying to like, like the acquisition is part of the goals why our office here, because my job and make sure with my team, some of them are here, is to acquire the best materials with research value, especially. But we also have the subject guidelines from the Library of Congress that we have to acquire from around Southeast Asia. We cover 11 countries. And a colleague from Bangkok, colleague from Kuala Lumpur, colleague from the Philippines, colleague from Rangoon also do the same. We digging, we search, we dig every single title available in Southeast Asia to get it for LC. Even though not all, we choose the best. We choose the best only, and then that's the one we acquire for the Library of Congress. And thanks to our cataloger here, some of it, because we acquire not only in Bahasa Indonesia or in English, also in Javanese, Batak, Sundanese, Bugis, Chinese, and some of them already learned Chinese language, and that's the one that makes all of us can search into the catalog because of them. We acquire, and they are working on the, what we call it, the bibliographic information. Yeah. Okay, you are all from, library science, so from Mark and anything, something like that. So that's very hard for me, but not for them.
Yeah, that's a powerful insight. Like the way you choose, the way you gather the information, especially when we realize that not only Indonesia, but also the local language.
Exactly.
Which one your favorite? Local language, Bataknis, Sundanese, or Betawinis?
Oh, that's a good point. If I would like, because I'm from Betawi, originally I'm from Betawi, it's very hard to find a local language right now because nowadays, young generation didn't like it that much. Even like if we go to university, like University Indonesia, they have Japanese program, not really produce many books about that, but we can still find it from the eastern part of central part of Java or Jakarta. That's very very fascinating, and the good thing about that, the Library of Congress, I might say, is the best institution who preserve like old, not old, like legend magazine, like what we call it from Java? Yeah, not manuscript, but in Javanese language. I forgot in my head. It's like magazine in Java. So we acquire them, we keep them, and
the name of magazine.
Yeah, the name of magazine I forgot, but
Jokolodang?
No, like from Java, and also from Bandung, Sundanese. Aduh, I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
Suddenly,
whatever. But that's the kind of thing that we keep, maintain, and put it in our collection. When it's come up, I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Ade. Faye, hello Faye. Okay, I will read slow. The word cataloger sounds very technical. Tell us what kind of information do you work with, and how does your work affect researchers on the ground? We start with cataloger. What kind of information do you work with?
Well, as a cataloger, I work with data and information, not only from the book, but also from external resources, in order to analyze and organize materials into the cataloging system. It is important for a cataloger to be able to analyze the essence of the material that they catalog, because this ensures the accessibility of those resources. And because, like my colleague mentioned, the library collects in more than 500 languages worldwide, it is essential that we determine the bibliographic data of the book, which are author, title, publisher, year of publication, and most importantly, the subject headings. This will ensure that our reader will find the materials that they need.
Thank you for the answer. Like, and then how does your work affect the researchers? How to help the researchers on the ground? Like how to access, like how do you know what they need?
We need to work with the data in the book and also with digital technology like metadata. Those combined, then we can help the readers find books more easily.
Yes, thank you, Wei. Okay, we move into the hardest question actually, hardest discussion. Because we will talk about technology. In a world of Gemini and ChatGPT or other AI, a big question remains for me personally. Are libraries that we believe the institution who preserve the very DNA of human knowledge, are libraries still important in the digital age? Because in front of Gemini or ChatGPT, we type anything and they give us everything. Are still important?
Sure, you want to go ahead? Certainly. So what a great question. Your question was about are libraries still important in the digital age? And the answer is, of course, absolutely, right? Even more so than ever. I think that this, new age, new generation in which we find ourselves is so hopeful in many ways and really brings us so many opportunities. We've talked a bit about the founding days of the internet and librarians. Of course, we're on the forefront of that. We'll continue to be on the forefront of technology and innovation and creativity and integrating those, again, into the aspect of people, right? We've spoken a bit earlier about how people and our teams are an important, maybe the most important aspect of what we do, and helping find ways to integrate those, right? So libraries themselves, in my opinion, will continue to evolve, to develop, and be places not only for books. We've talked a bit about born digital materials. We've talked about magazines, places for these excellent resources, but also important community hubs, right? Like at America, exactly. These will be important places for us to gather and to learn from each other, have these informal experiences, but also important places for us to learn, right? Where we can speak with experts in different subject matters, in navigating technology, to learn these important skills that serve us throughout our lives, right? Things like critical analysis and assessment that Ade has mentioned earlier, because these will be elements that are ever so more important as we navigate AI, where we have lots of information at us, but we need to know what is the best information, right? What's going to meet our information and our resource needs.
I love that perspective. But Ade, still important in this digital era, digital age for you?
Absolutely, even more important because you know what? In the digital age, everybody can create anything, everything. And you might know hawks everywhere, but in the library, they have the acquisition section like me, who really have the goals to choose the best material for the library itself. It's not only for the printed material, also in digital. So, and then, maintaining digital collection is expensive. So you need a budget to do that, and you need the institution to manage that. That's why the library is very important in the future even. And then, like Ms. Alison said, that more and more people, like more individual, and then they need a place together with some with a group of people with the same interest, the library is the good place to do that. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. And Faye, what about you? Are libraries still important in this digital era? Oh, you're still mute?
Sorry. I agree with my colleague that the library is still important. And in the present digital world, libraries will continue to transform digitally and go past the physical boundaries, which will allow the users to be able to access the resources globally and worldwide.
Yeah, thank you for the perspective that's still important. So if we agree this importance, so we can move into the practical things
Sure.
with the student here. Alison, this is very practical question. Can anyone access LOC for free?
Oh, great question. Yes, LOC, our online resources, which we'll talk about just a few today, are available for free to anyone, anywhere.
No subscribe?
No subscribe. We're going to talk about 3 in particular this afternoon. We'll discuss Ask a Librarian, we'll talk about databases, and we'll also talk about digital collections, right? In addition, I'd like to share with our viewers and our audience today access to the Library of Congress located in the capital of Washington, D.C. is also free to anyone. You do not need to have a library card. You do not need to be an American citizen. If you are visiting the United States, you may visit just 16 years and up.
Yes, thank you. Right now, call to action for us here. Just type in the Google Library of Congress and try to search some information there because free. Buddy. For those of us who have a big dream, can individual, like a student from UI or YRC or from American Corner Mahasarakam, High, could they, even the outside US or state, could they collaborate with the LOC, with the LOC team? How could they collaborate, like maybe need a printed resource or need a collaboration or need a guide?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, I want to ask first, who's in this, the audience who heard or know about Library of Congress? Raise your hand.
Okay, give applause if you ever hear.
Not my colleague from the Library of Congress, from YRC.
From YRC, have you ever heard about LOZ, Library of Congress?
Okay, I saw some. You are so shy. You have to be confident as a librarian. UI?
Library of Congress?
Okay. That's a good sign. So, if you have something in your mind, I would like to collaborate with the Library of Congress, or I would like to inspire by the Library of Congress. First, like anyone, like a researcher, go to the Library of Congress website first and check the services. There are a lot of programs there, but yes, not all of them can be joined by us due to, not really. If you willing to get up at 2 p.m., at 2 a.m. in the morning, yes, you can join and collaborate with them. Yes, because our time difference is, one of the challenge. But yes, you can, like Ms. Alison said, you can ask anything from the Library of Congress. If you find any nice or interesting sources from the Library of Congress, you just contact them and ask them how to get it, or how to acquire from this, because I need it from for my thesis or my journal, something like that. You can ask them. But still, remember, if you remember the video, the Library of Congress also very follow the copyright law. So there are things that the librarian can give it to you in email or available online. But the other thing that because of the copyright, it's something that they okay, this is only available in LC, and then you have to go there and something like that. But the highlight is that yes, you can collaborate with them as long as you can manage time and adjust the information and your need. Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. Faye, how about in Bangkok? Most importantly, how can LOZ resources boost people in Bangkok career, whether in business or creative industry, or in our policy, based on your personal experience in Bangkok?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah. How can LOZ resources boost people in Bangkok or in Thailand career, whether in business, academic, or creative industry, or in policy? The practical, your experience. You can share with us your story.
I don't think I'm in the position to say that because I catalog books, and I'll leave that to the expertise of the management team.
If I could jump in for Miss
Yeah.
Faye, please. I think she's being so
Yes.
modest. I think she's being so humble. I want to appreciate Faye's many contributions to an LOC team that has been working on a new initiative to help bring more access and more accessibility to materials written in non-Latin scripts. Is there anything you want to mention about that, Faye? I don't want to steal you.
Yes, Faye.
Yeah, that I know about. Many of you are familiar with the Library of Congress's cataloging record. And because we collect a lot, we collect in many languages, the majority of those records are inputted only with Roman script, except for Cyrillic, Greek, and Jacqueline, I think. Jacqueline would stand for Japanese, Arabic, Chinese, Korean, Persian, Hebrew, and Yiddish. So recently in 2023, the Library of Congress wants to give more accessibility to the non-Latin script languages. So they start with a few languages like Thai and Armenian to be included in the cataloging record of the library. So this would make accessibility easier for the local speaker, and it would make resources more accessible. More languages are to follow in the coming year. So.
Yeah, thank you. One more question before we go to the quiz, the break time. Mbak Ade and Faye, for the student here, what skill do you think this young generation, these people today, need if they want to work in library or archives or field like digital media and knowledge management? What skills?
Okay. Talking about skill, not only hard skill, but also soft skill also needed by the young generation, and the mindset. First, mindset is very important for me. It's like we have to be open-minded. And the one who work for the library also have to able to co-op with the technology. Now, better to have, at least interest to learn more about technology. Yes, AI now is very important. You have to know the AI, the knowledge or anything. And then if you are interested, you are you are learning in the library science. If you have program or skill about how to create the catalog or anything, learn about that and learn about the bibliographic metadata, something like that. You have to learn about that. Yes, I see everybody's knocking like, oh yeah, that's it. And then you have to understand, the scope in my job. you have to understand the subject and the knowledge itself. If you have the idea of just, let's say, you plan to work in the financial library, special library, you have to understand the subject of that. So you have to like open mind and learn more. Do not stop to learn. Every knowledge is important. So do not start to, because I know that young generation now like, I don't like that, I don't like this. Yeah, it's okay, it's fine. But if you like something, do the best for it. That's it.
Thank you, Anfe. What about you? What skills do you think young people or in Bangkok people, they need to work in library? The skill? Unmute first. Sorry, unmute
Sorry
first.
about that. In a cataloger's point of view, I would say the skills needed for this task are, of course, attention to detail, proficiency in the cataloging's database and the library system, as well as the understanding of the bibliographic principles. Those are the cataloging rules that you need to know. And like Ibu Ade said, in the present day digital world, it is important to have knowledge of metadata, as well as adaptability to changes in the library environment.
Thank you, Faye. Thank you. For you here, we are opening the floor for questions. So get ready, collecting the thoughts, collecting the question, and then grab the mix letter after we open for the Q&A, and keep it short for the question. For those who join online in Zoom, hello, Mahasa Rakam. You can give your hand, and we can open mic. Or from YouTube, you can type on the chat or comment. So keep those questions coming. It's time for us to stretch our legs and test our skill. I'm handing over to MC for a quick break and fun quiz. Ara, the stage is yours.
Yes. Okay, everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank our speakers and moderator for the discussion. Thank you so much to Mbak Ade, Bu Alison, and also Kak Nugi for the wonderful discussion. And before we move on to our second session, everyone, we are going to have a quiz. So you can prepare your phones because we are going to have a Kahoot quiz, everyone. Yes, and for those of you who will win the quiz later, we already have special prizes. Kita sudah menyiapkan hadiah buat teman-teman yang memenangkan quiznya nanti. So yes, I'm pretty sure everyone here is probably already familiar with Kahoot. You can scan the QR code that is on the screen here, or simply you can go to www.kahoot.it. And once you are in, you can simply insert the game pin, which is 5322433, and then you can put your username. Make sure you use your real name because we are going to give you prizes later after the quiz. Okay. Once again, please go to www.kahoot.it, or you can simply scan the QR code that is on the screen, and then make sure you insert the game pin, which is 5322433. Ya, teman-teman jangan kebalik username dan game pin ya. Kadang suka ada yang masukin game pin di username-nya. Ya. Once again, we already have special prizes for you who win the quiz later on. We are already at 82 people joining already. Teman-teman masih semangat kan semuanya? Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of a break, refreshing before we move on to our next session with our lovely speakers. Okay, already joining 113 people. 113 people already joining. 114. Okay, maybe we can start now, everyone. Yang belum boleh nyusul nanti. We are already at 119. Okay. Okay, get ready, everyone. Engage, inspire, and inform with the Library of Congress. Okay, first question. Where is the Library of Congress located? Is it in Houston, New York City, Washington DC, or Philadelphia? Ya, ini selain benar, harus cepat juga ya, teman-teman ya. Ya, jadi dinilai dengan kecepatannya juga nih, teman-teman nih. You have to be quick as well. Okay, and the answer to it is Washington, D.C. Okay, let's see the scoreboard. An enthusiast. Okay, this is the first winner for our question. Okay, let's see the second question. You can find LOC materials in all of the following formats except hologram, photos, books, or 3D objects. Okay, the answer is hologram. The answer is hologram, and now the Rashid is leading right now. Okay, next question. The Library of Congress has how many items? Is it 178 million, 80 million, 2 billion, or 130 million? Yes, how many items are in the LOC? Okay, there are 178 million items in the LOC. And I want to make sure as well that our friends from Bangkok are joining. Hi, Bangkok! Yes, I'm sure you are joining the Kahoot as well. Okay, the third scoreboard goes to Chaisa. Hi, Chaisa. Where's Chaisa? Is she here? Okay, let's move on to our next question. True or false? The collections contain materials in more than 470 languages. Is it true or false?
Can they ask Gemini?
If you have time.
Okay.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The answer is true. Yes. And now leading the scoreboard is Farhan. Farhan is leading the scoreboard. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's move on to our last question, everyone. Please be ready. Which of these statements is correct? Is the Library of Congress does not have online materials? Library of Congress only has books. Library of Congress is open to the public, and Library of Congress is only for lawmakers. Okay, which is correct? And the correct answer is the Library of Congress is open to the public. Okay, can we have a round of applause, everyone? That is our last question. And now we are going to reveal the winners. Let's see. Drum roll, please, everyone. We'll see the podium. Third winner is Keira. And second winner is Kaisa. And first winner is Farhan. Okay. For Farhan, Kaisa, and Keira, if you guys are here, please join us on the stage. Farhan, Chaisa, and Keira, if you are here, please join us on stage because we are going to give you the prizes. Okay, can we have an applause, everyone? Okay, let's take a picture. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much to our winner, Farhan, Taisa, and Kera. And I hope everyone here enjoyed the quiz. Can we have another round of applause for everyone? Yes. So now we will be moving on to our second session of this event. Therefore, I would like to give the stage once again to Nugi.
Thank you, Ara. Once again, congrats on the winner. Keep that energy up to our next session. Right now, we will move into the nice and for me wonderful session because we will see on the screen the overview of LOZ resources, digital collections, database, and Ask a Librarian. So, Alice and Bade, the time and the stage is yours.
Certainly. And I'm going to follow your lead. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stretch my legs out a little bit.
Yeah, work
Because
out.
I need lots of energy to talk about these amazing topics. They're very passionate about these resources. I want to inspire you to check them out, whether that's maybe later at home this evening or maybe next week with schoolwork. Let's see. Let's try again. There we go. So as mentioned, these are the three topics we're going to talk about today briefly. The Ask a Librarian service, digital collections, and finally, last but not least, databases. Oops, wrong way. Let me get some help from expert. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So, of course, I'm putting here on the screen first a reminder of the mission of the Library in Congress. And that's, of course, we've talked about engage, inspire, and inform. And to be a universal, again, there's that word universal for everyone, about everything, source of information and knowledge and creativity. So to help support that, one of the services offered from the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. is called Ask a Librarian. There's a short video I'd like to watch with you. It's about 2 minutes long that tells us more about this service.
The Library of Congress receives hundreds of thousands of questions each year from curious minds around the world. Reference librarians and subject specialists from across the library are ready and waiting to help you find the information you need. The easiest way to ask us a question is online through our Ask a Librarian service. This free service is available to anyone, anywhere. Let's begin on the Ask a Librarian homepage at ask.loc.gov. Here we are on the Ask a Librarian homepage. To get started, I will select Ask a General Question. Sending us a question is as easy as typing it in the box. I'll try. Is it true Susan B. Anthony was known for her red shawl? Complete the form by entering the rest of your information. Once you have filled in the required fields indicated by a red asterisk, click Ask Your Question to finish. A librarian will send a full response generally within 5 business days or less. If you have a specific reading room you would like to consult, navigate to the Ask a Specialist tab. For example, if you had a question about Civil War era photographs, you may wish to send your question to the Prints and Photographs division. If you are not sure which link to choose, don't worry. Go ahead and select Ask a General Question, and Library of Congress librarians will direct your question where it needs to go. Whatever your question, Our reference librarians are ready and waiting to provide you with the information you need. So go ahead and ask a librarian.
Okay, thanks for watching that with me. That was just a brief snapshot of, again, this Ask a Librarian service that's existed for 24 years. So if you can imagine all of the thousands and thousands of questions that our colleagues in the Washington, D.C. office have received from around the world. It might be anything from, did Harry Potter have a pet? To, I need help with my thesis or my research project about a very specific topic. There is no bad question. They receive questions large and small every single day. And again, this is a free resource. As my colleague Ms. Ade mentioned earlier, a question we get a lot is about scanning and sending over materials through the Ask a Librarian service. So I just want to note that while there are certainly lots and lots of digital resources and items, we'll talk about those more in a minute, not everything is available to be scanned. As Ade mentioned, maybe it's due to copyright, or perhaps due to the item's condition or size. The Library of Congress holds some of the oldest and rarest materials as a part of its collections, and certainly to help preserve those, things like scanning might always be possible. But there's certainly a lot of digital information already available, with more and more added every single day. We've talked a bit earlier about this big unit of digital information called a petabyte. That is millions and millions of tetrabytes. I think 1 petabyte, I just learned this, is perhaps equivalent to 500 billion pages. So if there are 21 petabytes now, that is more than 914 million files. So we could learn every day, still not reach the end of it, right? So to access some of those digital collections, you'll go to one of my favorite websites. Of course, it's loc.gov. I've put a red arrow here to showcase the digital collections area of our website. And types of information available are listed here. We've talked a little bit about manuscripts, but also photographs, audio recordings, maps, so much more. Here's a screen, just a simple, some screen grabs of some of the many resources that you'll see in our digital collections. Everything from photographs from the Civil War and big maps, country studies, as well as information about one of our founding fathers, Abraham Lincoln, and some rare materials from a Chinese manuscript. Materials that are available through the digital collections are in the public domain, and you're free to use, to access, to share them, and to reuse. So many students like you find this helpful for their research projects for these primary resources. Web archives is another resource that's available through the digital collections. I put a screenshot here of one you might see from Indonesia, because LOC manages, preserves, and makes available access to archived web collections. Ms. Ade, I know that you wanted to speak about this too. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder. What would you like to add?
Yeah. Can you see that in the right side, Indonesia Web Archive? That's that's acquired by Indonesian librarian. We have not only Indonesia, but all the Southeast Asian sources come from this office, this region. So we are so glad that this is very important. If you are interested in searching or have writing something about the election, the process, the changes and everything, you can start from this because it's free access, and all the information available here, it's already approved by the website owner. So we are not stealing or everything, but the good thing about that, the website is not always available forever. I don't know if you are noticed, but if you didn't manage your website, it's really expensive. You have to manage the web hosting, the web developer, and so, and including the one who entered the information. Using this as the resources is the best way to have like comprehensive information about election, especially in Southeast Asia. And we very proud of it. And this is one of the sample. And not only election, we have you see, Papal transition in 2005. We have September 11 archive, Southeast Asia Defense Military and Web Archive. It's also in Southeast Asia website. I mean, we acquire them, and all the information available here can be searched and then available online and easy to retrieve because as a good metadata produced by our cataloger in our office. I think that's it, ma'am.
Great, thanks, Ade. Wonderful. Let me move on and talk about a third resource available from, what's my favorite website? loc.gov. Absolutely. Who's already using databases? Do you use these maybe in your work sometimes? I know we're also maybe joined here in the space, in the physical space, by some librarians or teachers. Yeah? Databases can sometimes be known for being expensive, right? Yeah, maybe we have to access them on site when we're in the library. This can be a wonderful resource for anyone of any age, for any subject, because databases available through my favorite website, loc.gov, are free, searchable, full text, anywhere, anytime. I've put a screen grab behind me on how to access that from my site. You're going to go to free resources here and then select databases. Because wow, there are more than 800 databases, so millions and millions of pages available for free, accessible anywhere. We can see here that there's also new things added all the time. We see on the, it's my left, the new or trial databases. So this can be a great way to stay on top of newer resources, right, from many different subjects. Here, I made just a small, maybe snapshot of just a couple of the more than 200 databases that are specific to Southeast Asia collections and information. One, we can see here, we can learn more about William Sage, who was a person who worked in Laos for decades. And throughout his time there, experienced many different changes, historically, culturally, socially, and he documented it, right? Through a collection of really vibrant and dynamic photographs, documents, and other text. That's all available here for us to look at, whether we want to learn more about history as a way to understand the present, or perhaps we are artists, right? We want to learn more about Laos artistry from decades ago. That's available here through the database. I've also here made a quick screen grab that might appeal to some of our students who are a bit more technical, maybe. These are some of the many journals. Again, we could click on any of these and open them up about Southeast Asian science, technology, engineering, and math. So again, all here for you. With these, I'd like to encourage you to, again, dream big, right? The Library of Congress can be a source of inspiration, a source of creativity, and certainly an excellent partner in helping you reach those goals, whether they're personal or professional. The library can help you do it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. I love this perspective about preservation. Here, I want to share my personal experience. We have one of the biggest podcasts in Indonesia, actually Jakarta, like Endgame with Pak Gita Wiryawan. In his new book, What It Takes, his Pak Gita's newest book, he writes that our human civilization is built upon two foundations. The first is about preservation. Now, based on Alice and Mbak Ade and Faye sharing, we get the idea that the LOZ, like I mentioned before, this library preserves the very DNA of human knowledge about the preserve. So we will talk about the innovation. I will ask to Alice and Bade. How can an institution like LOZ inspire us to be more innovative? Because today we talk about creative and innovative. We have talked about preservation, so we can talk about innovative. How can be more innovative? Alice?
How can it inspire us to be more innovative? Gosh, that's such a great question. I think that something that binds or a common characteristic.
Life value.
We spoke a bit earlier, right, about recommendations for student success, right? If you're interested in joining the library field or you think that might be on your horizon professionally. Whether that is or whether you decide to go in another direction, I think something that does, again, bind us all together as students, as professionals in the field, the current and future generations is curiosity and lifelong learning, right? And I think that the Library of Congress can certainly help advance and further all of those. No matter what you are interested in, the Library of Congress and libraries in general can help you meet that need.
Yeah, Bade, any personal stories? LOC inspire people around you to be more innovative, or for you?
Okay, more innovative. Okay, innovation comes from the idea, and idea comes from the experience. And sometimes when you find something on the collection, either in the Library of Congress collection or other collection in your library, you have to think like, okay, let's say when you say it like, long time ago, our TV is like huge.
Yeah, giant boxy tube TV.
Boxes. And I learned that the innovative person thinking and act like, starting with laziness. Yeah, it's true. Like remote, because someone doesn't want to go up and put the button. They're thinking, how I can sit and just change into the next, channel, something like that. That's the idea. And first, that's simple thing, and it's also can inspire by. I cannot mention it if I didn't read something. I cannot imagine by all myself, but I read it somewhere. I forgot where. But that's the idea that, wow, that's very interesting. And also for the librarian itself, at least you have to be innovative in the future, because you have to deal with many kind of people in your pattern, and using a fileable thing in your place, in your workplace, you have to be like, combining or, okay, make it easier. Simple like that. And you have to think like, how can I make it easier and still using the good, bureaucracy or something. You need the innovation. And when you read more, you get the idea.
Thank you. I love the phrase of read more, because in place I work at Periplus Bookshop, we also have the motto, read more books, broadening our outlook. So thank you for the answer. Remind again, for those of you here, please gathering your thoughts and keep your questioning brief and to the point. And for the audience watching on YouTube, please type your question in the comment section on social media. We will bring them to the stage. And for special for Amkor Mahasarakam, after we open the Q&A session, you can raise your hand up and we pick and choose for the question you will deliver. Okay? We have heard from the keepers of knowledge here, Alice, Bade, and Faye. Let's hear from someone as a user, Mas Bayu. Mas Bayu, sees the history through his lens as a researcher, as a photographer, as a historian. Mas Bayu, you have long journey with LOC. Could you share your story on how the LOC has supported your work? Stage is yours, Mas Bayu.
With the presentation or?
Hello, Mas Bayu. Yes, you can start
Yes.
with your presentation.
Okay. Hello, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bayu Amdewinata. I am in Pekanbaru, Riau Province. Actually, when we talk about LOC, yes, I starting to know about LOC collection 1 year ago when I researched about my book. I have to write 3 books. Actually, we have 2, and right now I'm on progress in 3. The history of the Malay. My concentration is Malay, is because I live in Riau Province. So when I talk about the collection of the Library of Congress, we talk about the collection of digital rail collection from the Library of Congress. Yes, it can be accessible for the public, and you can download it. And of course, the curator also have the guidelines to understand about the manuscript, but you should understand about the manuscripts too, so you should write in and read it carefully. I talk about my research about the Siak Kingdom in the Riau Province. There was the big kingdom in Riau Province, so there was Malay letters, especially from the kingdom. They write letters to some of the local government, like the Singapore, Malacca, Penang. So the collection, all beside the Library of Congress, the collection also have the SOAS University of London, the Leiden Digital Collection, something like that. So this is the collection of I read about the collection, and from this collection I compare and also I write it to my book. So when I talk about collection of the Library of Congress, I talk about the Asian Rare collection that have in the Library of Congress. The collection come from the William Farquhar collection, the first resident of Singapore, and the others Malay daters at the beginning of the 19th century. From this collection, yeah, you see there is the collection come from the Jawi. In Malay language, we call this Jawi here. Is the Jawi, and or in the Java you call it Pegon. So from this collection, we can see the correspondence between the Siak Kingdom and also the William Farquhar come from the who is the reside in the first residence of the Singapore. From this collection, there are 44 letters from all the Malay kings come from the Malay Peninsula and also Riau Province, and the collection of the Siak letters, there are 9. There are 9 letters come from the Siak, and so this helped me to reconstruct the history of the Siak Kingdom, especially from the beginning of the 18th century. So something like this, and so if you see this, this is the Jawi letters, and after that I should translate it to this. Especially I using the Indonesian language, but right now I use the English language. So I should compare it to the big idea of the Riau history and something like that. And also this is the letter from the Pertuan Besar or Siak Kingdom or Siak King to the resident of the Singapore. So these letters, 44 letters, you could easily download it and you could easily reach it. That's why for me the LOC collection it is important, because from this collection I could arrange the timeline between Siak Kingdom and also all the big harbor in Malay Peninsula like the Singapore, Penang, and also Malacca. So like this is the letter from the Yang Pertuan Besar or the king from the Siak. If he give the viceroy to the king or the resident of Singapore or something like that. So that's why for me LEC collection is the way or the thing that I use to understand the big history of the Siak Kingdom. Yes, this is this is the end of my presentation, and this is the area that I researched Malay Peninsula, Malay Kingdom, and also the area in Rio Province. Thank you very much for the chance that the LOC and also in America give it to me. Yes, back to you.
Big applause for Mas Bayu. Thank you, Mas Bayu. Okay, still on here, Mas Bayu.
Yes.
Friends, like what Mas Bayu, his story for me, the story, the experience is just living proof that this archive are not just old papers, but for me, it's like fuel for modern research, So it means like what Pak Gita said before, or in his book, by preserve the old paper, or by preserve the archive, we can move to innovation. So I think, Mas Bayu, can I ask a question for you, Mas Bayu?
Yes. Yes.
Mas Bayu, we can go back to your personal experience.
Yep.
How did you find this archive? How did you find? You scroll, or you ask your lecturer, or?
No.
Please, Mas Bayu.
I using the Google first, because when we talk about the archive, yeah, I use it the big search engine. I use the Google, and the Google I put the William Farquhar letter collection, and the Google put the LOC, Library of Congress, and after that I click it and said that I also email Mr. Joshua, the curator of the ASEAN Rare Collection, and that's why I talked with him. And yeah, after that, I then download it, the collection. I collected it, and the big thing is all the 44 letters from the Malay king, all the LOC have cataloged it, and also it's easy for me to identify and also to read the big idea of the letters. And after that, I will going to read it and translate it, because sometimes the translation from the letter is different if we read detail it in the letters. That's why I should read it first. Beside the letter give me the guidance to the collection. Yeah, that's the idea when I talk about how I research in the collection of Library of Congress.
Thank you, Mas Bayu. Last question before we start the Q&A. Mas Bayu,
yes.
I imagine as you research something, and when I type LOZ, and then I go into LOZ website, then I find so many archives or old information. Any archive that surprised you? Hidden information maybe, like a love letter maybe, from Mysore to a king or sultan. Any surprise you? Thank you.
Yeah. Some of the collection of the letter from the Farquhar, I have some surprise that when we talk about the history of the Siak Kingdom, there was kudeta between the king, and so some of the Malay letters in the Farquhar collection, and also they give the detailed letter from the uncle of the kingdom to the major William Farquhar, the situation in Siak Kingdom and why he chose to take down the king. And we said that when I dig more in the Library of Congress collection, yes, we have the letter from the Secretary of President of United States from at the end of the 19th centuries. They want to we have the big island, we call it Bengkalis Island. It is in the border between Malacca and also Rio Province. At the letters from the Secretary of President of United States at the end of the 18th century, they said that they want to make the Bengkalis Island is the free trade zone and also free trade area for the trade between America and also between America and Netherlands Indies. For me, it is the really big news, because when we talk about right now, Bengkalis, some of the people in Indonesia also doesn't know about the Bengkalis. They only know about the Batam, because Batam is the free trade zone in Indonesia near the Singapore. But at the past, Netherlands Indies also have the free trade zone area, the Bengkalis Island. That's the big information for me, and that's why I put it to my third book. Now, something like that I found in the Library of Congress.
Thank you, Mas Bayu. Your answer is encouraging us to start our journey with LOZ. Okay, dear friends, we will move into Q&A. I will divide into three parts, or three sessions of Q&A session. The first, we will open for the American corner from Mahasarakam. Mahasarakam can be moved to the Zoom. Okay. Yeah, you can raise hand. Sawadika. Sawadikap. Any question from Mahasarakam, Thailand? Please open mic.
Yes, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So the first question is about the after reference feature. In the website, because you mentioned that it takes 5 business days to reply. Yes. Are they normally actually like 5 business days or less than that? Because 5 business days, being honest, is quite a long time.
Alice, can you
Sure,
understand?
thanks. Thanks for your question. I appreciate your enthusiasm for reference and research services. I think that's really great. And just to repeat here for our crowd who may not have heard the entirety of your question, our team member's question was about 5 business days in relation to the Ask a Librarian service. And I think the crux of your question was, will it really take 5 whole business days or maybe less? Yeah? Of course, we always hope for less, right? Those librarians are superheroes, right? They're working hard. Yeah.
24/7 days.
Absolutely. So yes, of course, customer service is really important to us. Some questions are more complex than others. So yes, you could well receive an answer to your Ask a Librarian question in less than 5 business days. And again, those are answered by subject matter specialists located in the United States.
Thank you. Another question from Mahasarakam?
Oh yeah, one more. Let me see. I think I wrote it down. Hold on.
So there is no vacation in Library of Congress for the librarian.
Yes, another one is at the Librarians of Congress, are they doing the road tour across America? Like, or people have to go there only?
Great question. Question was, are they doing a road tour across America, or must people visit the on-site facilities located in Washington, D.C., right? The question is, if you wish to access the reading rooms in person or make an appointment to review materials, that must be done at our facility in Washington, D.C. However, I should note that certainly the materials available in the 3 buildings that were shown in our video earlier, or in our off-site locations that store, again, thousands and thousands of items, those come from across the United States and certainly from across the world. So please know that there is diverse representation from across my country and all of ours. But yes, to see those materials in person if you wish, or if you wish to make a reference or research appointment in person, that must be done at the library in Washington. But I think that's such a great opportunity to again emphasize that the online resources and online collections are available to all of us who maybe can't visit the Washington, D.C. facility very quickly, right? We're a world away or half a world away. So we can always log in and connect through loc.gov.
Thank you. Any last question from Mahasarakam? Any last question?
No, I think okay.
Okay, thank you. It's very clear. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say
Thank you.
thank you in Thailand, but I forgot. ขอบคุณค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you, thank you. Okay, we are still waiting. The question from audience watching on YouTube or social media, just please type your question on the comment section, and I'll make sure that we will bring them to the stage. Okay, we open the second section of the question from the audience here. Any question from the Slytherin one? Oh, not Slytherin, but Yarsi? Yes. You can grab your mic. Yeah, the first from Yarsi and the second from Ui. State your name and your campus, no? Yarsi, yes.
Okay. Thank you for opportunities. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anissa Putri Yasmin from Yarsi University. I read on the Library of Congress website that BFrame or bibliographic framework is being developed and used. We have used MARC for a long time. So from the Library of Congress perspective, especially in Indonesia, how do you see BFrame as the future of MARC? Thank you.
Wonderful. That's such a great question. Anissa, your question was about how is BibFrame the future of
The
MARC?
future of MARC.
All right,
Okay.
fantastic. You'll see me looking at my colleagues in the front row. I want to make sure that I'm representing you well. Feel free to shout to correct me if you want to add anything to it. But from my just personal perspective, I think that BibFrame again is an excellent example of innovation and commitment to inclusivity, right? To making records more complete, more available, and more readable for different types of materials on different types of access points, right? And providing, again, a most comprehensive source of bibliographic data. Is there anything that maybe Ade or Faye especially would like to add?
Faye, would you like to add?
I think you nailed that.
Oh my goodness, you're giving me too much credit, Faye. I know you want to add more, please.
BitFrame is like our linked data model, and we combine the bibliographic details into that. And all those would make resources more accessible, like you mentioned. Yes.
Buddy?
Because this is not my expertise, no, I cannot say anything about the BibFrame.
If I could take the question back to Faye. Faye, can you tell us more about your own personal experience utilizing BibFrame? How has that been going for you? What are some of the challenges you see even?
I think BitFrame is easier to work with because it lessens the rules, the cataloging rules that you have to learn. And I think it is beneficial for people that uses the record globally, worldwide, to be able to find what they want, like worldwide, and more resources will be used.
Thank you. Is very clear? Putri? Putri, right? Second from Yellow Jacket.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity for me to ask a question. To preface, this is maybe more of a general and hypothetical situation. As the largest Library of Congress, of course, the experience would be on par. Then if one were to build a library from scratch, how would you do it? Where to start? What areas would be important to focus on? And what would be the challenges for it? Thank you.
She inspired by Thomas Jefferson, maybe. Alice, can you share?
Sure. What a creative question. I love that focus on imagination. Oh, and I invite you all to really let's use our own imagination and creativity. If you were to each start your own library, where would you start? I guess I would recommend, I guess thinking, through the steps in my mind, users first, right? Who is my audience, and how can I best, what collections can I create to help meet their information needs, right? Because sometimes a public library serving, a smaller rural community like the one I grew up in might be very different than a special library that focuses on maybe a scientific subject. All right, so starting with the needs of the user, I think is really important. Challenges that I might see with that, oh my goodness. Challenges, right? I think Ade and Faye will have much more to say about this topic, right? Finding that balance, right? Making sure that you're being committed to diverse sources of information, providing a rich knowledge base, while also applying and practicing the best standards, right, that I know you're all learning in school these days when it comes to collection development, right? That's one of, I think, the many challenges that newer emerging library facilities face. What would you like to add to that? I know you have some great ideas.
From 0 to 1.
Yeah.
From 0 to 1. Okay, I think Miss Alison put like a very important thing to do so. I've been there. I've been working like, okay, after I graduated from school library, I challenged by someone who worked at the law firm, and okay, can you build me a library? So the first thing, like you already mentioned, the audience, the user. So I have to know. Then, because I don't have any background about law, so I have to learn first, and then I also need to have like input from the owner itself or the audience itself. What kind of information and the reference. The reference is the best thing. So I have to know, okay, which one is the core collection, which one is the secondary collection, and what kind of collection, the type of material itself, the type of service itself. So it's really related to many things like budgeting, staffing, and everything. So there are a lot of talking about challenge. Yes, that's related to the how big is your you want to grasp your audience. If like Miss Alison said, if you have like very special audience, yes, you can put it like, okay, only for this. Let's say if you want to build library for disabled, something like that, or so you can okay, where you have to put the library, the accessibility, the resources, and anything. So that's kind of challenge that you have to learn. That's why when I mentioned to you that you have to be open-minded and not stop learning and reading more. That's very important for us, for a librarian.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Can I also give the answer based on my expertise? But it is endorsement full. If you want to build a library, just go to Periplus Bookshop. The challenge is only one, the price. The price. But you can go to Periplus Bookshop when mid-year sale or year-end sale. Almost book discount up to 50%. No, just joking. Just joke. We still focus on LOC. Friends, you can also ask Mas Bayu or Faye here. Any other question? Yeah, one or two. Two. The girl and the Arsenal. Arsenal. Oh, the Gunners. Yes, the Gunners. Defeated by MU last week. Sorry. Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Nailaya Zizabirhan. So we know that Library of Congress has many collections, such as manuscript and audio recording. So what I want to ask is how LOC preserving their collection so that public can keep accessing them for further research or need. That's
Excellent. I love your focus on sustainability, right? I think that's really important. And I'm kicking myself for not mentioning that in response to our last question, kind of thinking about sustainability if we were to build a library of the future. Yes. Sustainability. Fantastic. Yes. So you mentioned, as you mentioned, there are so many different formats that are collected with the Library of Congress. And we have specialists who work in each area and who apply the best practices according to each item type, right? So if the item might be, a film, or it might be a very old and rare parchment, or it might be something else entirely. Maybe it's a 3D object, perhaps. We saw in one of our videos a crystal flute. Wow, But please know that conservators do work very diligently and in a dedicated fashion to make sure that correct practices are applied. That can be anything from encapsulation, from what that item is kept in, to climate control, to other kinds of standards, to make sure, again, as you mentioned, that's available for future generations. Now, I also think an important part of having that really excellent source of knowledge is being able to share that. And I think that we see Library of Congress staff participating in a range of different conferences, forums, things like this, to not only share what they know, but of course add to the complete body of knowledge about this important work about preservation. So if we YouTube it, I'm sure that we will see many of their speeches, of their shared practices available to us all to learn from. Thanks for the great question.
Thank you. Mbak Ade?
I think Ms. Alison already covered all.
Yeah, thank you. The fourth, Mr. Gunners. Mr. Gunners. Because he wears jersey of Arsenal.
Okay.
Your name and your question.
Okay, Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Muhammad. I come from Pesantren. I was a teacher in Melbourne International Boarding School in Bogor. So my question is for you, Miss, and it is about my goals to make a paper before my master's in Middle East studies. So I want to ask you something about if I do research on sensitive topics such as war on terrorism or etc. Because Middle East is region full of war and full of policies. So if I do research on sensitive topics like this, war on terrorism or etc., especially in a state like Afghanistan and Syria that I have focused on it, is there any restriction or will U.S. foreign policy affect our access to research at the LOC? Okay, this is a clear question because I'm really want to discover more and more about Syria and Afghanistan, especially and also all Middle East countries.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I think Mas Bayu can also answer this question based on your personal experience. At least you can go start, or Mas Bayu first?
Sure, let me defer to Bayu as our research expert. Bayu, can you share about
Mas Bayu, your experience finding restricted resource. Mas Bayu still mute?
He's muted.
Still mute, Bayu?
Because my focus in Malay Kingdom and also in Malay manuscript, there is no restriction in the collection of the LOC because I could access like the letters from all the kingdom in the Malay world, and also I also could access the letters from the Secretary of Presidents United States come from at the end of the 19th century. But I don't know about the other collection because my focus in the Malay Kingdom and also the Malay world. So yes, my answer is there is no limitation, there is no restrictions, especially for the rare Asian collection, something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Mas Bayu.
Thanks, Bayu. And I'll echo that as well. And just to underscore and emphasize that the Library of Congress does not censor. We do not restrict. If it is something we have it, and it is available for researchers to peruse, that can be made available, right? I don't want to even say issue, the kind of hurdle may be of some materials, because again, we've talked about condition, size of the item, rarity of the item, must be viewed in person, right? So that can present a hurdle to some of our researchers around the world, because perhaps they're too fragile to be scanned. But please be assured that bespoke, individualized consultations and reference interviews are available to anyone around the world. Those are free, and the material itself is not censored in any way. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. We love your patience.
Yes.
Success,
yes.
Mr. Gunner. Okay, we will move to online Q&A from Bangkok. I get information that there is question from Bangkok. Can we start? Faye, any question from your side?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Actually, we can open still for decide any question from audience from UI? Oh, okay. Grab your mic. Say your name. Anyone from UI? One question? Not yet.
Hello, Miss Alison. I'm gonna ask to you. It's about my personal experience. I'm using LOC Golf to open a Mark web. So to learning about how to use Mark, but somehow I must use by laptop. Cannot use it on phone because it's not a mobile friendly website. So is there any chance in the future that Mark, part of LOC Gov, will be updated of UI and UX, so it will be better on the mobile device?
Excellent. Great question. Yeah, we've talked a lot about innovation, and I think that's right in line with that.
Give
yeah.
Applause. Finally, someone asked about user interface, user experience.
Absolutely. I wish that I had a definitive answer. However, I can just note that certainly the library and all of our colleagues located here in Jakarta, across Southeast Asia, and certainly in Washington, D.C., are always open to feedback. And this is certainly something that I'll be sure to raise and can join other very important data points. Because we've talked a bit earlier about keeping the user first, yeah? And you and many others around the world are users of Mark Records. Let's see what the future holds, right? How does that sound? Good. Me too, I'm also looking forward. Keep it up.
Thank you. Mbak Ade, Alice, Mas Bayu, and Faye, this is the last question. This last question coming from online. But actually, if I read this, it will become the foundation of our discussion today. Alice, especially Alice, and Faye, can you share the main vision, the main mission of Library of Congress, and how it serves both Americans and global audience? Alice and Faye. Alice first.
Sure, absolutely.
The main mission.
Sure. So the vision of the Library of Congress we've spoken about throughout our session today, and those are three words that almost rhyme or sound alike: engage, inspire, and inform. Right? So that means helping to provide, again, a universal source of information and knowledge that is not only factual, right, the informed portion, but also the imaginative, like we talked about, and inspiring that creativity. And that can take many different forms. I think you asked for maybe some examples of how that works. Sure. So one online resource that can help inspire creativity something called Citizen DJ. Yeah? Anybody here like music? You make your own music? Use Beats perhaps? If you log on to loc.gov, you can navigate through that site and find a resource called Citizen DJ, which is free access to tens of thousands of different sound samples to use there and mix on our own platform to export and share. And again, all in the public domain, copyright free. Everything from spoken word to wonderful bird calls to something, again, more beat-driven. So I'd encourage you to check it out as just one source of maybe innovation and creativity. But we can also, of course, see the Library of Congress being an important aspect, right, of that information piece. And it is the library for our lawmakers and congresspeople in the United States. They use our resources to help draft new laws, to review potential amendments or changes. And I think that's a very big responsibility, right, that we all have and we all share to help make sure that the information available to these professionals is the most up-to-date, is the most comprehensive, and is the most effective and applicable for really helping drive those laws in this case or policy updates that have the potential to affect us all.
Thank you. And Faye, from the last answer, how it serves both Americans and especially for Bangkok people? How LOC serves based on your own personal experience?
I also believe that another vision of the Library of Congress is to provide globally the resources that they have in the library. So with the combination of the bibliographic data and BIFRAME or our linked data model, this vision would be complete and successful.
Thank you. Thank you. Big applause for today. What an incredible journey we have today. We start with the magical things, the magical library with Beauty and the Beast are Bale. We continue to Nora's Midnight Library, and we end with the real impact of LOZ, international collaboration. Yeah, I learned one thing to emphasize today, that knowledge is an open door. So don't just stand outside, walk in, explore, and write your own story and write your own thesis, yeah, Mr. Gunner. Thank you to all our wonderful speakers. Thank you for this amazing audience. Big applause for us. It has been a privilege for me to be with you all, and I will hand it back to the MC to wrap things up.
Yes, thank you so much, Kak Nugi. Can we have another round of applause, everyone? Yes, thank you so much to our speakers and also moderator for today's event. And also thank you so much everyone here, to our audience, online and offline, for attending our event for today. And before ending our event for today, I would like to inform our friends in Thailand and our friends who are joining online, including from Amkor Mas Sarakam and also Mas Bayu, to stay online because we are going to have a photo session afterwards. And yes, once again, thank you so much everyone for joining our event. If you are interested in attending more events here in Ad America, you can simply follow our social media platforms at AT America on Instagram, X, Facebook, and also YouTube for more event updates and also informations. And also visit our website at www.atamerica.or.id. Once again, thank you so much everyone. My name is Ara, and see you at the next Ad America event. Thank you everyone.